It's 2026, and that means the midterm elections are right around the corner. Now, all year long, we are going to be breaking down the top issues and the strategy going into Election Day. So here's where we stand at the moment. In January, new polling shows that the top concerns of voters right now is cost of living. You see that at 46%, democratic values and norms, immigration, crime, and then something else. And now let's look at the balance of power. So in the Senate, Republicans hold the majority. It's 53-47. Democrats would need to flip 4 Senate seats in order to take over that chamber. Now, over in the House, those numbers have narrowed, as you know. There are currently 218 Republicans, 213 Democrats, and that number will change within the next hour when Democratic Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger is sworn in as Virginia's next governor, making it 4 seats that the Democrats would need to gain the majority. Now, when Democrats flipped the House in 2018, they were leading, you see this, by 10 percentage points. This is the generic congressional ballot. Now, today, they are ahead by 4 percentage points. So the margin is a bit different than it was during Trump's first term. So what is the GOP's strategy to retain control of the House and the Senate? Let's ask Joe Gruters, no one better, the new RNC chairman and a fellow Floridian. Chairman Gruters, great to have you here. I mean, for all of the dim predictions of the media, the fact that Democrats, their lead is cut in half in a year that is traditionally bad for the party that holds power, that seems promising.
Yeah, Kayleigh, first, thanks so much for having me on, and thank you for your service to the party in this country over the years.
So much. So what do you make of the congressional ballot, Joe?
Listen, we have a chance to defy history. Our secret weapon is President Trump. You know, his policies, his agenda. He's accomplished more in this first 12 months than most presidents accomplished in 8 years. We have to use him. There's no better person in the country to deliver the message to the people who have shown up 3 times for the president. He's ready to barnstorm the country. We're going to have things like the midterm convention. There's so many great things that we're going to be pushing forward, and we're fighting every single day to make sure, and we have one mission at the party. That's to retain the majorities in both the House and the Senate so the president can have a full 4 years.
So, Chairman Gruters, that's interesting. We can expect Trump to barnstorm the country. Do you guys talk about that? He's going to be out there. He's going to be advocating for the majority.
Yes, he's willing to do it. He wants to do it. And he knows he's the best messenger. And with the policies that we have, they're so popular with the voters. I'm a CPA by trade, and I know just like the affordability issue that you said, 46% of the voters that's the most important issue. He's been focused on affordability since day one. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. And as I travel the country, I know people. I talk to my fellow CPAs at my old firm, and they're ready to file these taxes. People are excited to file their taxes this year because they know of the massive refund that they're going to get. We are in a pace. We're recruiting the right candidates. We're doing everything right. We're raising the money. And listen, we're not going to stop until we deliver for this president.
Now, Chairman Gruters, James Carville, who was behind Bill Clinton's big victory, he has a bullish prospect for Democrats. I want to play that. He joined me last hour.
It's going to be a wipeout. Your viewers need to know that the Democrats are going to pick up at a minimum 25 seats, maybe as high as 45.
Wow.
In all likelihood, the Democrats will carry the Senate.
So you say the opposite. You say that is not going to happen.
Listen, we can defy history, but it's not going to be easy. We need everybody to come out. Go to GOP.com, join us, sign up to help us, participate. We have to give this president a full 4 years. We've seen what happened just with the shutdown. 43 days the Democrats held us hostage, held the entire country hostage. They're going to investigate, they're going to impeach, they're going to obstruct. We have to stop that. We could do it, but we have to do everything right. We need people to join us. And with this president, he's our secret weapon. I know that we can defy history, and we're going to retain the majorities in both the House and the Senate.
You know, Senator Chris Murphy is floating what I would describe as a fanciful conspiracy theory. Let's listen to him.
Maybe he goes in ahead of time and tries to use the military in order to take control of polling places. That will be maybe one of the most dispositive moments as we try to make sure that he doesn't transparently rig the elections.
So, I mean, that would be news to you. I'm hearing Democrats saying there won't be elections. I mean, it sounds like you're preparing for them.
Listen, the Democrats are ridiculous. This is what they do all the time. If they want a fair election, why don't they pass the voter ID law? Why don't they pass the SAVE Act? It's everybody supports voter ID. I think 85%. It's overwhelming. And these guys want to cheat their way to victory. They want to use litigation. But you know what we've done? One of the most important things that the RNC does is election integrity. We're so strong. We've gotten better every single cycle since 2020. We have 134 lawsuits right now. We're litigating from coast to coast. We're bringing the hammer down anywhere we could prevent non-citizens from voting, making sure we have equal access to poll watchers, cleaning up the voting rolls. We have a case in the front of the Supreme Court right now where we could prevent 17 states from counting absentee ballots after Election Day. You would think these are all common sense and reasonable things, but they're not. But the Democrats don't think so. We think so, and that's why we're out there fighting every day to make sure we make it as easy as possible to vote and as hard as possible to cheat.
Yeah, and you mentioned that passing the SAVE Act. Scott Presler mentioned it. Democrats, where are you? It's just, simple voter ID seems like a good idea. All right, Chairman Gruters, thank you.
Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.